Hi, I'm Tal, I'm the founder of Lighttag, and in this video I want to tell you a little bit about Project Covfefe. So Project Covfefe is a project that we're doing here at Lighttag about labeling President Trump's tweets. So labeling looks like this, where we'll be presented with a single tweet and a bunch of different labels that we can apply, and we apply them to different words. So massive tax cuts, for instance, is an issue, and the fake news media might be a group or an insult, depends on your interpretation. And the idea of this is that if we do enough of these, but a lot of people on a lot of the president's tweets, then we'll be able to get kind of a structured data set of what the president is speaking of and how he's speaking about it. And we'll also, because we'll have a lot of people annotating the same thing, be able to see where many people agree and disagree and what are the correspondences between those things. Kind of understand how we as a community or a world understand the president. So the outcome tangibly of this project will be a data set that we're going to have open both on the system and on GitHub. And it looks something like this, where you'll have an individual tweet and its URL, and then the different entities that we found, their names or their phrases, and where they were in the text. And from that, the community and we're free to analyze it if we want to build a machine learning model to try to predict new ones, or if we just want to analyze the relationships between things that Trump is talking about. So that's what that data set would enable. And let's jump into, I guess, the fun part, which is how we create it. So from the landing page of Project Covfefe, you can click on participation or just go to demo.lighttag.io and you can sign up, and I'll just log in. And as soon as you're logged in, you'll be presented with work. So work in this case is a day's worth of tweets from President Trump. You can see he's a fairly prolific tweeter, definitely more than me. And so each one of these is a tweet, and on the top we have the different labels that we can apply, and if you hover over them, then it gives a brief description. So a country is a nation, a person like Hillary Clinton or Petraeus or Melania, a group could be like the Dems or the Republicans, a transgression is something done against the president or the nation, etc. And let's just dive into like annotating. So I'm going to start with this example, and he says again, the story that there was collusion between Russians and Trump campaign was fabricated. So Russian, I'm going to say, is a country, but you can of course interpret this differently. I'll just highlight part of Russia, and to do that I'll highlight Russia, I'll choose country, and I'll click. Great. And Trump is going to be, Trump is a person, but the Trump campaign is a group. So I'm going to highlight Trump campaign, then you press group and apply it, and was fabricated. And so this is interesting because it's kind of silly to use the mouse when we can use the keyboard. So we can press, we can go fabricated, and I think that's a transgression. And instead of clicking like before, I'll just press W to select transgression. And press enter to apply that. And Dems is a group, so I'm going to press J to get that. And I'm going to not capture the plural S there. And so that's news, and that's an excuse for losing the election. And I think that's somewhere between transgression and insult. I'm going to go for insult. And once I've highlighted everything in there, I'm going to press done. All right, and then fake media. So fake media is an interesting one, because you could say that the fake media is a group, because clearly it's referring to a particular group of outlets, or you can say it's an insult. I'm going to go with insult this time, but up to you. He's working overtime today, nothing else. As very active president with lots of things happening. So very active president with lots of things happening. It's kind of an achievement, right? So we're going to select achievement and highlight that. It's not possible for my carrots to compare with perfect accuracy. Okay. And maybe the best thing to do would be to cancel all future press briefings and hand out written responses for the sake of accuracy. So there's information there, but nothing falls clearly into any of these categories. And so in this case, instead of hitting done like before, I'm going to press nothing here. And that's my commitment that, hey, I've gone through this tweet, but I haven't found anything that I could label. So nothing here. All right, James Comey, person. So I pressed S to select person, highlight James Comey, press enter. Better hope that there are no tapes of our conversation before he starts leaking onto the press. So that's it. When James Clapper, another James, himself and virtually everyone else with knowledge of the witch hunt. The witch hunt is an issue, I'm going to say. So we pressed F to select issue and annotate, so there is no collusion. When does it end? China is a country. Just agreed that the U.S. is also a country, will be allowed to sell beef and other major products into China. So I think actually in this case, sell beef and other major products, that's going to be a an issue, right? Because it was something that was being politically discussed at the time. But again, my interpretation. And China is again a country. Once again, this is real news. Almost sounds like an achievement, but not quite. So today, the First Lady of the United States, I'm going to say that that's a person, right? And I choose not to label the @ sign. Hosted a military Mother Days event in the East Room of the White House. So the East Room is a place, right? So I'll press H and place, and the White House is a place. And it was an honor to stop by and say hello. Great, that's it. And then today I welcomed Victory Christian Centers School. So that is an organization or a group. Good luck to the team in American Rocketry Challenge. And also a group. And that's it. That's today's tweet. So we're going to press done. And once we've gone through every one of the tweets of the day, we can submit that to the server. It's going to process it and give us the next batch of tweets to work on. So of course, if you're helping us out with this and labeling the data, then you can do 1, you can do 100, as many as you have patience for. It's not the most glorious work in the world. And what's nice is kind of what comes out of it. And this is where we dive a little bit deeper into LightTag. So far we've seen the annotation interface, and the other part of it is kind of the management interface, which is open on the demo site. And we'll just go to Manager and then to Analytics. And that's going to load all of the projects that we've been working on. It's going to take a second, but it's going to load all of the projects that we've been working on in the system and tell us our progress on them. And so we can see, and they're going to be ranked by priority if I select them. And so far, we've been labeling this Trump data set with the schema, the collection of tags, Trump2, and we've required that 3 annotators work on every example, but there have only been, we can see that we've only been 2 annotators, myself and someone else, working on it so far. And then how many annotations we've collected. But most importantly for you is that we can download the data from here as it goes along. So if you want to come in and get the most recent collection of annotations, you can just come in, press download, and go for it. And we'll be publishing a weekly collection of all the label data we've collected on President Trump's tweets to here as well. And that's the project. Again, you can just go to demo.lighttag.io to start working on Project Covfefe, Manager Analytics to download, or press the big blue annotate button to keep annotating. Thanks a lot. Bye.